Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, wait, it's 11:19 here in Minneapolis, so it's morning. Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody. We hope everyone enjoyed their Memorial Day weekend. And for those of you who have soldiers and veterans in your family, we hope that you had a chance to celebrate and honor them, whether it was in person or having a chance to honor their memory. So it's Tuesday already, which means it's a short week. So that's has its own complications, but we are really excited this week because we have a special guest that we'd like to introduce you to. This way. Hint, she's over here. I'll tell you about her in just a moment. But for those of you who are new to this platform and maybe who don't know me, my name is Lisa Harris. I am an author, a storyteller, a narrative coach, and the CEO and founder of Lisa Harris and Company. So Lisa Harris and Company is a personal development company that connects, guides, and transforms women's lives through the power of storytelling. We do that in a lot of different ways. We offer inspiring events. We are also, we do courses. We have our narrative therapy courses that we do with women called Uncover Your Truth. And it's a beautiful course where we take women on a journey and they're able to look at their lives through storytelling elements as well as narrative therapy principles. So really powerful course. And we invite you to check us out on our website, www.lisaharrisandco.com. And we also, we work very closely with women on our online events. So it's a great way for women to get to know the platform, learn about other women in our community, and connect, comfort, and share with each other. So our mission at Lisa Harris and Company is to help women unveil their stories and reclaim their personal power through storytelling. And we are really excited today because our friend Christie has joined us today. And Christie is a sister sponsor of this platform. And we met Christie back in 2019, which she'll tell you a little bit about in a minute. But we met Christie back in 2019, and she has continued to support us, which we're very grateful for, continue to support this platform. And she is now a sister sponsor for 2021. Wow, I'm like trying to think through my years because the last year was a little crazy. And I know it's been crazy for you as well. So without further ado, I would just like to throw the mic over to Christie and have her tell you a little bit about herself and personally and professionally, and we'll take it from there. So welcome, Christie.
Thank you, Lisa. It's very apropos that you would interview me this week on a short week because I'm only 5 feet tall. Dun-dun-dun. So now the more serious topics. So I am a divorce and custody mediator and paralegal. And so I'm different than attorneys. I work with both parties. And I help them through the entire divorce or custody case process. If they want to consult with an attorney, they can, but 95% of my clients don't. I provide legal information, what the law says about various things, and then I help people reach agreements on all the issues, and then I rate their court documents, and then I help them through the court process. And the court process is really easy when you're working together. If you don't have kids, literally all you have to do is mail the documents to the court, and that's it. And then you're going to get documents back from the court saying you're divorced. And if you have children, you're going to have one hearing. It'll be about 15 minutes in length. Now, all the court hearings are online or via phone, so you don't even have to leave your home or office. It's just super easy. I saved people tens of thousands of dollars and at least 6 months in the divorce or custody case process. Okay. And, so that's what I do at ChristieLegal, the just long and the short of it. And a little bit about myself. This is my 5th career. But I'm finally getting it right. I've grown up.
We can
And-
always reinvent ourselves, right?
right.
That's a good, you're a great example of that, right?
Yeah, I have been a teacher and a corrections officer at both the women's jail and the juvenile prison in Red Wing. And I've been a paralegal in divorce and custody law since 2011. And then I started my business, and I believe it was 2013. And I was widowed in 2009. So I can't identify with people as far as divorcing. However, I can identify with people of having the loss of, the most significant relationship in your life. There's, at least in my opinion, nothing that's comparable, to losing, what you thought was going to be like the center of your universe. Um, you know, I lost the center of my universe in a different way. We were amicable till the end, but nevertheless, divorce is the death of a relationship. And it is something that needs to be grieved and worked through. And I also lost my son Alexander last November. So I am. He was 22 at the time, and so although I don't know your specific loss, I definitely know loss, and I'm good at being supportive to people through loss because I've been through a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a unveiled beauty sister, I've seen you a little bit through that journey, and definitely my heart goes out to you. I know it's been a long year. And so I just want to say that and acknowledge that. And we absolutely love your presence and your spirit on the platform and at the events. It's always so nice to see you. One of the things that I wanted to say was to let our audience know that, it's interesting you talk about divorce in the framework of grief. I also hear it is, one of the most traumatic things most people can go through. And often people don't think of it in that way, but it can be, many psychologists and therapists talk about divorce being very traumatic, even more amicable ones, because there is that sense of grief, that sense of loss. I had a conversation with somebody recently talking about children in the frame of relationships, and how when you have a child or you start to build your family, oftentimes the couple doesn't take time to actually grieve their relationship as it's changing, that you no longer exist as a couple the way you used to. And so sometimes if you don't acknowledge that grief or that change, that can kind of bubble up into your marriage and bring other challenges. So I do think that's really important. And I think what you have gone through personally and what you've witnessed with other women going through divorce. I know you serve men, but this platform is particularly for women. So I know that you understand emotionally how the women may be feeling or the men may be feeling. And especially with you, I've started to get to know you over the years, and I know that you like to add a little humor and a little light to such a intense conversation. So that's also, what people can expect when they're working with you as well, as somebody who gets it, is, can help kind of guide the conversation, but somebody who also who understands. And will add a little light to the journey. So I love that. Is there anything?
Not at every moment. Sometimes it's just too real for that. But
Yes.
if at all possible, I try to lighten the situation, though, definitely, because humor is definitely a coping mechanism for a lot of people. Definitely for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, the conversations that you have with your clients are more intense in general. So, we have to be real. So So I can appreciate that. You're like, okay, let's level set, Lisa. Let's level set. So I appreciate that. So thank you. So can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to become a little bit about, how you heard about this platform to begin with, I guess. I mean, we met each other back in 2019, which now is a couple of years ago just because of events, but maybe let's tell the audience a little bit about that.
Okay. So I met you at an Accelerated Global Connections event and in Minnetonka,
Forgetting that.
and you were speaking, and I was just like, oh, that's very interesting because, whatever helps people, like I find that I like, when I'm upset, I call up a friend or, well, first I text them to see who's available. And then I call up a friend and, like talk about, what's bothering me. And so, I'm like, that's great if, storytelling and processing their story with, someone who, that they've had training and that's, what they decided to do for their career. If that helps them, that's awesome. Because, hurt people. And the fewer hurt people we can have in, America and the world in general, the better. Even though I work in divorce law, I don't really want people to have bad relationships and divorce. So I'm definitely all for anything that makes people more mentally well. And I can see the people who are in your, who've gone through your program, they are fiercely loyal to you. They are so fiercely loyal to you. Like, you know, I'm not actually even sure I've seen anything like it before. Um, and I belong to several women's groups and, including one in Mankato um, and they're just so fiercely loyal to you. So clearly you helped them. So
Thank
that's
you.
how I met you. And
Yeah.
that's why I started to participate in the group is because I was like, okay, the group clearly helps people. And then I do enjoy, you know, uh, participating in the events that you have each month as a kind of more of a viewer. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you can definitely learn a lot from other people's experiences.
Yeah.
Um, you really, people need to do that. They need to be able to learn from others' experiences so they don't have to go through the same thing to learn the same lesson.
Yeah. I think, I try and say as much as I can on this platform. I'm not perfect. I have hurt people. I'm human. And I have also learned in the last 5 years of the power and the strength that sits within being vulnerable and sharing our vulnerability. And I think there's something really interesting that happens in this space when enough women find the courage to share with each other, kind of the energy and and the connection is just very different. And obviously, when I work with women, in the courses, I have a lot more intimate experience with them. But at our online events, that it translates in its own way. That still, even I am surprised of the connections that happens in that space. It's a wonderful place for women who don't know about this platform. Our online events are very accessible. We typically talk about topics that are very important to women and are at the heart of some of our challenges or trauma or just our stories. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. So we've known Christie now since 2019. And Christie also sponsored our last live event. Oh my gosh, but we are going to have one in 2022, spring 2022. But Christie has stayed engaged, and she's also, like I said, she's a sister sponsor this year, sponsoring the platform. And, we really do look to Christie as a loyal supporter. And, we encourage our network to look at the work that she does, reach out to her. Maybe you are considering this, or maybe somebody who's having challenges in their marriage, their relationship. Christie also, I'm sure, has kind of, calls where you can kind of connect and figure out if it's a good fit. I don't want to speak for what those
are. Yeah. So I offer everybody a free initial consultation, an hour, and I offer both parties that free initial consultation. So if you contact me and then, you want me to get your husband or, ex-boyfriend on board with doing it this way, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And something, that I think I forgot to point out is, using my service is a lot less conflictual. And when you're hurting, more conflict is bad. You want to keep the conflict as low as possible. And when folks lawyer up, it's war. There's no way around it. And when folks work with a mediator, such as myself, it's a collaborative effort. It's like the three of us, we figure out how to solve, the various issues in your divorce or custody case. Yeah. So it's a lot easier on everybody mentally at the time. And then later on too, because you haven't spent your next 2 years of vacation funds on your attorney, and you're hurting for the next 2 years, or maybe it's even worse. Maybe you spent your kid's college fund on attorneys, and so then you're going to have that hurt for years.
Yeah. So help people understand, Christie. Who don't you work with? So let's be honest, right? You can't work with everybody. You prefer to work with certain types of cases or individuals. Share with our audience a little bit about that, so people know before contacting you and before it's, you tell them this is not going to be a good fit.
Okay. So, you can contact me, and if your case is not in my wheelhouse, then I will refer you to some attorneys who I know who charge for an attorney reasonable rates and are very highly qualified. They do happen to be all women attorneys. It's not because of anything. They just happen to fit what I'm looking for. And so the people who I can't help would be people who one of the parties is just unreasonable. Because both people need to meet in the middle. So it's like, if people aren't reasonable, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Or if one of the parties just is like, I don't, if they don't think, if they want a lawyer, like some people, I don't know why, they just want to spend tons of money and it makes them feel better. Don't get it. So if people are not going to cooperate, and they just feel like they'd feel better if they had an attorney, those would be people who I can't help. I've had cases where I have mediated with people for over 70 hours over a 4-month time period. So it's like, I can do tough work. I've had property in Italy, a mom who, temporarily had an order for protection, so because she couldn't see the kids. Dads who had temporarily had OFPs, he couldn't see the kids. Domestic abuse, just the whole gamut. I've had cases with the whole gamut. But as long as the people are being reasonable and will work with me and their spouse, we can do it this way. And yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So like Christie said, and we'll share in the comments how you can reach Christie and other ways to connect with her. So we'll definitely do that. So before we leave, Christie, I would like to invite you to share just any advice that you, with all the work experience you have and life, life experiences are extremely valuable as well. Any advice that you have for any of the women watching who, I don't know, just in life or maybe related to the work you do?
Well, the most important thing to remember is it's okay to be alone. Um, a lot of people have a fear of being alone. They think that society is gonna look at them differently, in a negative light, or that their life will automatically be worse. Um, it's totally okay to be alone. As a matter of fact, your mental health is going to be better because when you're in a bad relationship, your mental health can only be so good. Um,
Mhm.
and long term, a lot of the women who I've helped at divorce, their finances are actually better. I know, like, if you weren't working or if you were the main parent, so you weren't working as much,
Mhm.
it'll take a while before you're financially self-sufficient again. Um, that actually happened to me when my late husband passed. He was the main breadwinner, and so it was tough for a while there. So again, I can identify with you, but for a different reason. It
Yeah.
was very scary when he passed. He earned a lot more than I even do now. And but hey, I'm still in my house in the burbs. It has gone fine. Um, I never married somebody who I didn't want, but I did, leave a couple of relationships that were long term, and I am so much better after leaving them. So just remember that it's going to be hard, in the interim, but afterwards, it's going to be so much better. And as one of my friends who is a financial advisor says, after the divorce and after you'd figured out your new financial plan, you just breathe a sigh of relief.
Breathe a sigh of relief. I like that. That's great advice. That's really great advice. I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Christie, for your time, your support on this platform, as always. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope any women out there who are in that space and are seeking some sort of guidance or advice, that you'll reach out to Christie and she can help you, or she can at least give you some resources that will help you down a different path. So that's what we have today. So thank you again, Christie. And to all those watching out there, we hope you have a beautiful day. And we will share ways that you can connect with Christie in our notes. So that's all we have for you. So thank you, Christie. And have a wonderful day, everyone.